TrueCast. This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we're conquering the unconquerable, using data and AI to create personalized gene roadmaps to fight cancer more effectively. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
Welcome into Missing the Point. It is a basketball show with myself, DK Sizzle, rocking a pink hoodie. Just gonna make some good radio here. Gonna create some visuals with my words to the listeners. We also have it on YouTube, so you guys can just see that with your eyes. But I'm gonna paint you a picture. I'm sitting here in a pink hoodie with a fancy Red Sox hat on, looking like I just rolled in from Miami Beach, but the scumbag side. Bobby looking like we just picked him up on fucking Causeway Street. He's got nothing but a Celtics tank top on. It's nothing but a Celtics tank top on and a fucking backwards green hat. Rayshawn's here looking like police would stop him for no reason. Everything is working out. Everything is working out. And listen, don't give me that look.
We're walking the line tonight, huh? We're walking the line tonight.
Because I said police would stop him for no reason, when realistically, we know it'd be a lot worse than that. Moving on to the basketball agenda for the night.
What was start?
Hey, listen, where was the lie? Where was the lie, guys? Okay, it's 2023. It's just the fucking way the world.
It is. I mean, yeah.
But we're here to forget our problems and forget all the troubles in the world, and we're going to talk about basketball tonight. Not to mention all the things going on. The fact that we're 2 days away from the trade deadline. The fact that the Celtics are the best team statistically in the NBA. The fact that Jason Tatum is still in the MVP race. All things we've been sort of touching on. But I do want to start with the Celtics. And I want you guys to just tell me if I'm crazy when I bang this drum again. Can we please trade Grant Williams? Like, can we just trade Grant Williams? Kelly Olynyk's out there. We got some trade exceptions to work with. We've got a disabled player extension to work with. We've got a Grant Williams to work with. There was a report the other night that he thinks he's got a bag waiting for him in free agency.
Bro, so I was on the fence until I saw that report.
$20 million for Grant Williams. I'm very sorry, but that is not happening.
And I don't need him chirping about playing time right now. Like, bro, there's nothing that I've seen from you over the past month that says I need more fucking playing time. That's like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. How, after what we've seen, like, this has been the worst Grant Williams stretch in the last 2 years, the last month and a half, right? Like, he's been useless on both ends of the court.
I think he's been equally as useless as he's always been, to be honest with you, except for like one little run.
Good last year. He was good last year. He wasn't bad last year.
Slightly towards the end of the regular season, he got better. Then he had a couple of decent series, and then he fell off when he needed to not fall off. So, like, for me, I don't know. I mean, Ray, argue with me. Is the wing coverage that he provides, is the minutes that he sort of helps with Tatum and Brown and some of that perimeter play, is that worth it? Like, we're not paying $20 million for him, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, honestly, like I don't have an argument to keep him. Now,
nobody has an argument.
Now, statistically, he's been better because it's like, I think last year it was 7.5, now it's at 8.9 points per game. He's shooting 42 from three. So on the surface, you're like,
it's the eye test, though.
His eye test, exactly. But, number wise, analytics wise, he's done that. But like you said, I think he had 25 in the game they played against Toronto last month. Since then, 7, 6, 5, 4. Like, we're doing a fucking countdown. It's not a happy new year. It has not been a happy new year for him. So it's time. It's time. And Adam Taylor, who has been someone who's I've seen on Twitter, you've been banging the drum for, we don't know each other, but we've had some interactions on Twitter. You've been banging the drum for us keeping Grant Williams, and what's the better option? There's plenty of better options. So instead of asking us what is the better option, we could talk about Pirtle. We could talk about OG Anunoby from Toronto.
Hell yeah.
Well, there's plenty. Hold on, I'm saying it's not plenty. There are a few guys that we can take and replace Grant and drive him to Logan Airport, as we talked about earlier this afternoon before we got together with this. So yeah, it's really a shame because I wanted to see him do well. I was very happy for him after the Milwaukee series last year. I was like, okay, this is the ascension, but maybe he's topped out, and that's okay. That happens. I wanted Brandon Clarke in his draft. Brandon Clarke went to the big.
Brandon Clarke's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brandon Clarke's been really good over there in Memphis. So I'd have been fine with that. We got Grant instead. Whatever. There was a slight improvement, but it seemed like he speaked. So yeah, I wouldn't be hurt if we moved off of him and from Payton Pritchard. They both need to go.
I feel like Grant Williams is he wants his role to be too big for what he is. So he's the perfect stats on a bad team guy. Like I can see Grant putting up 19 and 11 for like Charlotte in 3 years, or like
that's what's going to be happening. 19 and 11 might be a stretch, but yeah.
Well, you know what? Because he's going to be centered. He's going to be like the second or third option because that's just the kind of guy that I see him setting up for. I don't think he's fitting into that role player spot right now. And I know we get hate on all our hate for Grant Williams because we always have. But like, bro, when you just watch him out there, he always looks like he's looking to get involved, but it's not his fucking turn to get involved. Like, bro, you need to chill out, and he's just his spatial awareness on the court is garbage.
Well, I to be honest with you, I think he can only really do one thing. Like he can shoot a wide open three, and he can kind of sell an up fake and take a big stride to the right and maybe hit that wide open three, but he hasn't even been able to do that lately. Yeah. I remember very specifically you, Ray, you, Bobby, and Mike did a show without me last year during the playoffs, and it was a celebration of Grant Williams' play. And I felt like, oh, now I know I'm not on this show because I would definitely be the fucking one to ruin this entire vibe. I'm like, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. Like, I'm happy to have been wrong if I am about what we talked about at the start of the season with Sam Hauser, where I was like, okay, yeah, like he's shooting well at the start of the year. Like that's not going to last. He did drop off, but he's had a little bit of a resurgency in the past. Like guys like that, those minutes, I think on a championship team, you can fuck with. Like you can be like, yeah, let's see what Sam Hauser is going to do for us tonight. Like, okay, let's like switch up this rotation over here and like move these guys around. I want to revisit something that you just said, Ray, which is like him and Payton Pritchard need to go. I'm weirdly reconsidering that for this year. I feel like Payton Pritchard moving in the summer might be a better idea. Yes, he's bitching about his playing time also, which is obviously very frustrating on a team where you're like trying to win a fucking championship. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Seriously. Like you're Payton Pritchard. Like we're trying to win a fucking a banner right here. And that is annoying. But I can see a scenario where if we get cute and we get rid of Payton Pritchard, you're a couple of injuries away from needing Derek White to play 48 minutes. And I'm not anti-Derek White. I love Derek White. 48 minutes for him is tough. Like in that when he's approaching that range of playing time, it's like he's not that guy. His style, I don't think really is appropriate for that. He needs to get spelled out. Brogdon and White and Smart being our front court is great, but like you're one or two injuries away from needing somebody to come fill in. And Pritchard is a good pure shooter, which you sort of don't mind that in the guard position off the bench either. So I don't know if I'd fuck with Payton Pritchard right now. I feel like he's fine. We have so much to offer like we have more money to move around with the trade exceptions and the disabled player exception, which is probably going to fucking expire. Like they're probably not going to use that, to be honest, because we have that from Gallinari. So, but we have that TPE. We have a little bit of money. We've got $1 billion fucking second round picks. I know that it's not football. I get it. But we've got $1 billion fucking second round picks. We owe a couple of first round picks for different trades. Fine. But we can make a move with a Grant Williams centered package to, for the love of Christ, get me a fucking guy that can rebound the ball. I know it's not that big of a deal as far as like we are winning every fucking game we play pretty much. I get it. I'm not complaining about having the best record in the NBA. It's just frustrating that I can see a route to beating us, and that's what it is. And you come up against an elite team in the playoffs, they'll find it. They'll just crash the fucking boards on us so hard, and we'll get so tired that, look what happened. Look what happened last year.
But the only team I'd be concerned about that actually happening.
The Nuggets?
No, I'm talking in the East.
In the East, all right, fine. Because the Nuggets, I'm fucking scared of seeing.
I'm going John Morant. Like we're fine, and I feel like we'd be where we play in the West. In my opinion, it's about getting out the East. And
Nuggets kind of had our number in the regular season, though. All right, whatever. Go on.
Yeah, no, sure, but I feel like Milwaukee still poses that threat because of their size. That's the only team I'd be really. I mean, obviously in Philly, but once again, and I tell Philly fans this all the time: you have not beat us when it mattered since 1982.
That's true.
Andrew Toney, Billy Cunningham, Dr. J, Moses Malone, Maurice Cheeks, they're not walking through the door. So let it go and just enjoy the game. But that's just how I see it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I talked to you guys earlier about it. Shams had talked about Dwayne Dedmon finally getting moved up Miami. That was bound to happen because he had a blow up with Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
Spoelstra and that Miami culture is just like San Antonio. When you get in the face of the brass over there, you will get out of there very quickly. San Antonio should buy out Dwayne Dedmon. There's not a need for him there unless they're moving Jakob Poeltl to another team, preferably up here. Maybe they buy Dwayne Dedmon. Maybe he's a guy that comes in and takes over Cornette's minutes. He shoots better than Cornette. He defends better than Cornette, regardless of the Cornette crutch. As I know that's been a thing of this year. He's big. I know he's not bigger than Cornette, but he is 7 feet tall. Can't get you some rebounds. He can shoot.
I'm into it.
So, like I said, once again, not a sexy move, but once again, if you're looking to get the trade exception or you're looking to get someone with actually, they probably could get him with a disabled player, not with the trade exception. So, either way, like I said, they need to look into it. Excuse me, but that's what it is.
I mean, the buyout market we look nice in. I feel like the buyout players want to come.
We're the number one selection for the buyout market for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys out there that we could go get in that buyout market. Like
Ray's going to get water, so he doesn't do his Doc Rivers impression anymore. Didn't he sound exactly like Doc Rivers when he was just, Blake? Hey, I love Blake, man. Blake's great, you know.
I think he lost his voice. I think it adds a certain mystique to it. I
did like it. No, I enjoyed it. So the thing I see Grant Williams rumored to go to the Magic as a big spot, and the Spurs also interested, which it kind of leads right into what Ray was saying, where I think Poeltl for Grant makes sense, man. It just makes sense for both teams.
What about Jay Crowder?
I don't know. You want the Crowder reunion again, man? I liked Crowder.
He got better when he left. I don't think he's the same guy anymore. I think that he's stuck in Phoenix. I think that there's weird shit going on there.
He was really bad in the playoffs last year, though.
No, I get it. I mean, I understand, but it's a buyout. Like, it's not like, to me, after a guy that can come and be 7 feet tall, like Luke Cornette, okay, yeah, it's super cute, guys. Like, I love it. Like, I love that he jumps up in the air when, like, he's very far away from a perimeter shooter. It's adorable, and it's great. He can't be on the floor during the playoffs. Like, he cannot be. That's not something that we can have. That's not a scenario we want to see. I just want to let you guys know that right now. I mean, he's been a very serviceable rotation guy in the regular season, but, you know, no, we got to shorten the rotation past Luke Cornette if we want to make a run in the playoffs, and I think we do. So we got to go get somebody like that size and that can spell Al, and we know all the stuff about Robert Williams' injuries, but we also do need a little bit of wing cover still. I mean, it's been encouraging that there's been nights where Tatum's out and Brown still wins us games, and there's been nights where Brown's out and Tatum obviously has that ability, will still win us games. Like, that's definitely encouraging. But when it comes to April, May, those minutes add up. We saw it last year. Like, it's kind of a banana peel that you don't want to slip on, not having enough minutes to kind of unload from the wings. That's what Gallinari came in to do. And if you do trade Grant Williams, you do have to replace that somehow. Like, for me, it's like, why not? You know, like, yes, you're granted. Jay Crowder, not great. Not great in the playoffs last year. But that whole team fell off. That whole team fell off from the run that they made. Like, it wasn't just Jay Crowder's fault. Like, the whole fucking thing came crumbling down. The whole house of cards fell. So, you know, Brad likes him, obviously. Like, you know, they might begrudgingly do a buyout. That's us getting him on the cheap, you know? So to me, I feel like it's worth a gamble. And I think he would fit the style of basketball we play now more than he did before even.
He fits roles better than what he did here in Boston. In Boston,
Yeah.
he definitely he checked himself a few times too many for my liking with that spread leg jump shot that he has.
He had to though. What do you Amir Johnson?
Amir Johnson. I loved Amir Johnson, bro.
I did. Well, I mean, defensively, yeah, but offensively,
Evan Turner.
Yeah.
So we keep talking about big men. A name I've been hearing a lot that we were looking at is another top pick reclamation project in Nerlens Noel. You know, you following that Jabari Parker route where it's like, you know, it's a name and it's a dude that you know who has talent. You know, do you think if you fit him into that Cornet role, he makes more of an impact than Cornet, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just like I think there is a little bit of a name tax on a guy like that. Like I think that
sure.
follows him around across the course of his career, and I'm not sure that his statistics have ever really matched that. I think, like, what are you asking him to come do? Are you asking him to come be like what Luke Cornett has been for us?
10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes a game max. And that's 4 to 5 rebounds. You know what I mean? Get those.
My fear would be like a lot of Nerlens Noel stat lines with like 2 points on it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're spelling Rob Williams, but like Rob's offensive production has improved a lot, and I feel like Nerlens Noel is going to come in and score like 4 points for too many minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel he might stall the offense.
Like 3 blocks in 10 minutes, though. Would you be excited?
Yeah, of course. No, I definitely would. I think my fear is a guy like that coming in and like, it's like, I guess it's a chemistry issue in my head right now. Like it doesn't seem like a direct plug and play for me. A guy like Jay Crowder coming back, you're like, well, at least you know where the entrance is, you know, like, you know, Brad Stevens already, like, you know, Jason Tatum already, like there's something about that. And to me, like there's a little bit of Nerlens Noel baggage, not a ton. I mean, he's not like a complete prick or anything, but like there is a little bit of baggage there where it's like, I mean, I guess it's sort of the same as the Blake Griffin situation. It's like, if he doesn't contribute, it doesn't really matter that much, right? You're not paying like a ludicrous amount of money for him to be there.
This podcast is brought to you by AT&T Fiber with All-Fi. Whether you're into watching horror movies from your basement, watching sports from your backyard, or watching trashy reality shows from inside your car that's parked all the way in the driveway so no one in your family judges you, AT&T Fiber with All-Fi is the best way to watch whatever you want from wherever you are.
Get AT&T Fiber with All-Fi and add some Wi-Fi square footage to your house. Limited availability in select areas. Go to att.com/hypergig to check eligibility. Coverage requires extenders at additional charge.
They changed the entrance at the Garden, so he doesn't know it anymore.
Oh, shit. Never mind then. Don't bring him. He can't find his way in.
You know what I'm saying? What about Jared Vanderbilt from
love it. He's
I think that him and Nas Reed, and that is someone.
Yeah.
Well, those are 2 guys. Once again, I don't know why they would give up on them, but to me, it's at least worth the phone call. Vanderbilt's more of what this offense looks like.
I think that's a completely different proposition. Like that's a guy that he can board. You know, like he can go get us 5 to 8 rebounds.
He helps preserve Rob. That's
same maybe.
That to me is a more exact like backup for Rob Williams. You know, that's a good call.
Rob. He takes like 5 minutes off of Rob's playing time.
Yeah,
and it's good 5 minutes. Another name you talked about offense. Another big man, PJ Washington. I've been hearing a lot, and I like PJ. Washington.
He actually fits in with CPE actually.
Yeah, and he's a big man.
What do we got? Are we gonna let all those fucking things expire? Like, let's do something.
That's what they do, man.
Yeah, I think I don't know who's left though, because I want to say it's the one. Oh, the Josh Richardson one, the Hernan Gomez one. Excuse me, is gone. But I think that one is like 5 point. Oh, Dennis Schroeder, that's what it was. It's his is up on the 10th. So they would have to use it before. They have to use it Thursday. So
if we're talking about a reunion though, Kelly Olynyk's the guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Kelly Olynyk's the guy. I mean,
he's a little undersized, but
I have very fond memories of Kelly. Listen, I was at Game 7 against the Warriors, the Kelly Olynyk GOAT game. Seeing so if he can come back and contribute. Listen, we just did it with Tice, and to me, I know I can be alone on this sometimes, but Tice was a fucking waste of space, and we brought him back. So why not Kelly Olynyk? Because he can do A hell of a lot more.
I think it's a little bit of a different proposition. Kelly Olynyk's more expensive. He's a lot better at basketball than Daniel Tice. Like he is. Like if we're being honest, like he has more.
We gave up Schroeder. I mean, I guess Schroeder sucks too. All right.
Yeah, not great. Not a great example, but Schroeder's potential. We give up Schroeder's potential to sometimes be good. But I mean, Kelly Olynyk again, perfect spell for Robert Williams and maybe even some minutes out of
some stretch
legs and rotations,
and even Tatum too.
The floor, like
he already played without
Tatum minutes,
right.
He already played without because the last year he was here it was Al's first year here. So
also Kelly Olynyk's like an effort guy, and I feel like if there's one thing I could contribute or criticize, to this team is that. Not to say they don't know it. I mean, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have both come out and said this shit in the past 6 months, but sometimes they pick when they want to play. And it's been a little less, I guess, often lately, but like they do go in spells sometimes where you're just like, oh, fuck, you guys aren't even really trying. Kelly Olynyk's like a little bit of a spark plug. Like you can bring him off the bench and like he brings energy and he brings effort and he plays defense. It's another thing I wouldn't mind having Jay Crowder out there for is like, you can put him on some guys. It's like, all right, yeah, you can go guard that guy. Like, it'll be fine. It'll be okay for 10 minutes. Like, we can live through this.
If you think about that second unit, that'd be dope, man. Kelly Olynyk, Derek White.
If we could just have like the 20, like that first Brad Stevens year, like the second Brad Stevens year, if we could just have that as the bench, I think that's what we're all asking for here.
Yeah, I'm even some. Well, he's not coming back here. He's in Sweden right now. But like my guy Jonas Jerebko, I loved him.
Jonas.
Let's go get both the Morris brothers. Let's get Markieff and Marcus back.
Yeah, I like it.
Dallas and Kyrie, but yeah, I love Marcus.
Wait, is it a Celtics podcast if we don't say, hey, why don't we just go get IT? We might as well go get IT.
And this is ridiculous. So I don't want people to take this seriously. I'm sure some will.
Yeah, no, we're not getting fucking IT.
It's like I almost feel like it's almost like we wouldn't win until he's back on the team because of how it went down. Because there's still people that feel like, well, y'all fucked over.
So he's like the Billy Goat. He's the
just put him at the end of the bench. Let him be. Let him come in.
I agree. I think we need to dispel that curse a little bit. I really do because like it was a little every point guard that came after him, like it was just weird. Like it was.
Kemba was okay. It was just he just injuries, but Kemba was.
I know, fun. But like that's some bad juju, right? Like that's like a curse.
I feel like it's Celtics fans' fault too because I know when I saw the trade, I know some people were pissed. I'm like, yo, fuck IT.
Yeah, me too. I was like, let's do it.
He just did so much for us, and I was like, bro, Kyrie, let's go. Fuck IT, let's go. Like, bro, come on.
I want to add to that, right? Because I remember I was still in Miami at the time, and I remember I was at my desk and I saw the alert. Actually, one of my students saw the alert. He's like, He said, Kyrie Irving got traded to Boston. I said, get out of here.
Yeah, no fucking way.
I said, no way. He showed me. I said, what? But what's wild, I wrote a stats about a month before that saying, well, if Kyrie's unhappy in Cleveland, he's 3 years younger than your current point guard, at least give the call. And then bam, it happened in August. And next thing you know, man, once again, that first year went fine. They won 16 in a row. People forget that. I remember the game with Dallas, the game winner in Miami. He had good moments here. He had very good moments here.
It was a great transition, huh?
Of course. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to be a Celtics fan the last few years. And like, yeah. I would say last year being the only exception, I think the most fun I've had since 2008, though, was like IT versus John Wall in that Wizards series. Like, that was just like the most fun I've had watching basketball.
I don't know. When Tatum and Brown pushed fucking LeBron to 7 games.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have lost that game 7.
Was I was at
it got ruined. We shouldn't have lost that game 7. Like that got shit on because like we fucked up. Like we had him.
Terry Rozier, I've never seen someone miss jump shots so badly.
It wasn't just him.
That night.
It wasn't just him. Everybody fucking missed every single jump shot. Pretty sure Jay Crowder missed a good few in that game, actually.
To Terry's defense, he went off for us in game 6 and we blew it. Him and Jalen Brown went off in game 6.
He was so bad.
It gave us a chance to win, and we blew
that series. Like, you can't remember that series as like that fun because we fucked it up. Like, we had our foot on their throats and we fucked it up. And it was a good lesson, and they were kids, and it's not a big deal. But like, I don't know.
Got it. So I have like an alternate universe theory for you. So I think we are fucked until we bring IT back. Because what I think was supposed to happen was we went through all that with IT, right? He fucked his hip up. We were supposed to keep him and have that be like, we can't fucking trade IT. You know, he's our guy. He did all this for us. So we were supposed to have like this empty space at point guard because of his hip for years. But instead, it just got injected into our team. It went to Hayward. It went to Kemba, Kyrie. It's all.
Shake up your day with the new Starbucks Iced Hazelnut Oat Milk Shaken Espresso. Layers of smooth blonde espresso, rich hazelnut, and creamy oat milk, shaken to delicious perfection. Order yours with the Starbucks app.
Yeah, there's been some bad injury juju. I mean, I would really like it if Danilo Gallinari was healthy right now. Like,
I think he's coming playoff time.
That's what I've been hearing, man. I hear him been pushing it. Listen, if we had Gallinari, we'd
people forget he's 6'10". Like, people forget that he's 6'10".
Have you heard it? Have you heard his song?
No.
It's awesome. He doesn't say it. Someone wrote a song about him. It's like a techno song.
Oh,
it's fucking amazing. Yeah.
Love it. I'll check it out after the pod. But like he's 6'10". He can rebound. He can score inside. Like he's it's not 100% his game, but like he can do it. That size on the floor is good. You know, he can rotate multiple guys back onto the bench to rest. So even if we could get 10 minutes a night out of him or 12 minutes a night, it might sound like a pipe dream, but that would be sick. Honestly, if we had that going into the playoffs, I would 100% just like throw him in there and try that out and see what it looks like. I don't think that's like a big deal. All right. That was fun talking about the Celtics as usual. I think we should dedicate a little bit of time to the trade deadline and to some other news around the rest of the NBA. Looking like LeBron is going to break that scoring record. I suppose we sort of owe it
tonight,
to the.
What's he got?
Yeah, he needs to get like 38 or something tonight, right, Ray?
Yeah, 36.
36. I mean, I think he looked like he was going to do it coming into the building. So that game's going to start right after we get off this pod. So could be the last time we're talking before LeBron is in the scoring title holder. I don't think it's going to change the conversation about what we think of LeBron James like all that much. I think that the way that his legacy is sort of shaping up, I think people are going to remember him as one of the best of all time. But I'm not really sure he's in the top two. I don't think he cracked it. I don't think that he, just because of the conversation, like I know people that are stans of LeBron James, like they can name every stat. Yeah, he's going to get the scoring record for sure. You know, they can name all these stats, but there's just still that thing where it's like, you'd still rather have Michael Jordan. You'd still rather have Kobe Bryant because they were killers. And they might not have been as fun at parties because they were mean. But like, if they were better, like that's who you want to go win you a fucking championship, right? And as much as LeBron was a killer and he was the most talented player I've probably ever seen, definitely the most talented player I've ever seen, actually, that's without question. I'm curious what you guys think of where his legacy is shaping up, if you think he's ever going to win another championship, because I don't at this point. And what this like scoring title means, like in his legacy. I mean, it might be a generational thing for me of what I think about him. I just haven't changed my mind. Like maybe I'm crazy, but
yeah, he's been downplaying it.
Yeah, because he's got a good PR guy.
But I mean, and I get that he's at this moment he's still chasing championships, and I get that. This is a phenomenal.
He's not chasing shit.
I never thought that this record would be broken. This particular record, anyways. So it's awesome that we're seeing this in our lifetime. So just like people felt in the 80s when they saw Kareem break Will's record. So
Kareem shot like one 3-point shot in his whole career. I'll just point that out.
Crazy. So, so I know to some that Kareem is still
it's pretty insane. Like his
two
record,
different
I
levels.
think is,
it's two different levels. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's yeah, exactly. It's insane.
Less playing time, like all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, but he also played forever too. So, I mean, it's not like people like he played 10 years and got 30.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, LeBron's playing a ludicrous amount of basketball.
Right.
Which isn't just take anything away from him. I think that he's still at this level. It's insane. It really is. Like,
yeah, I mean,
credit to him.
When you invest that much in your body, like you should be.
It's like $1 million a year he spends on just not breaking down, right? Yeah.
I mean, to me, listen, he's definitely top 3. If someone would say he's top 5, fine. That's okay.
I got him at 5. I actually got him at 5. to be honest.
He passed Kobe for me the moment he passed him in Philadelphia a few years ago. That's just my opinion on it. Yes, mentality wise, of course you're choosing Kobe, but I'm like, there's nothing else that you're choosing. You're taking, like, once again, he scores as well. He defended as well. He's won the MVPs. Like, there's no other, there's nothing else that measures up. Like, he's passed everybody except MJ in that regard. So, I'm excited for him. Like I said, but to me, he's top 3. Once again, the man's been on the Sports Illustrated cover since the age of 16. I remember
that Sports Illustrated, bro.
Never got into major trouble. Never gotten into any really major scandals. Yeah, once again, does he complain and whine too much? Sure. But like you said, the talent, the skill set, the playmaking is undeniable.
Totally.
And we would miss him when he's gone.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think we're very lucky to have
top 3 in my mind, top 3 for sure.
I definitely agree with you in the sense that I think we're lucky to have seen him, and I think we're lucky to have seen a lot of great athletes over the course of our sports watching lifetimes. I just think, for me, I think maybe it's the way I was just conditioned to watch basketball. It's like the things I look for in players that I love, LeBron doesn't necessarily possess. I think you know what I'm talking about. Like if my favorite non-Celtic ever is Allen Iverson, then I'm not going to really fit the mold to be a LeBron James fan, I don't think. That's not to say I don't understand how good he is, but to me, it's like if when people ask you for your top 5 all time or your best starting 5 or however you want to look at it, to me, it's like I'm trying to build a team. I'm trying to put him in a realistic circumstance where who do I want to go win me a championship? And I'm not doing this thing that, like, I'm not being a LeBron hater, but like LeBron is like statistically just as likely to lose in the finals. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it's like, I mean, I understand there's extenuating circumstances and I understand that there's context involved here, but Bobby, where do you put LeBron all time at this point? And like, talk to me about the scoring title.
So I just kind of look at it differently, where it's like, you guys know me, I don't like speaking in absolutes when it comes to GOATs and things like that, bro, because like I hate that fucking conversation where it's like, bro, he's the GOAT. Or it's just fucking
we're just
different.
talking about his legacy. We're just talking about his legacy. You know?
He's the most accomplished player in the history of the NBA. And there's no really disagreeing with that when it comes to stats, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds, assists.
Like an individual player.
Right. No one's higher on those ladders consistently than LeBron.
Yeah, totally.
No one's played more minutes. No one has had that impact on the game. However, Michael Jordan is still the greatest basketball player of all time. It's you know what I mean? He's the GOAT of basketball, but LeBron's the GOAT of accomplishments and stats. And when we look back at LeBron's career, like 20 years from now, it's only going to be about the fact that he's a scoring champion, rebound. He might end up rebounds leader too, right? Or top 5 in assists and top 5 in rebounds.
Right.
So
no, I mean, but I guess it's a matter of what's important to you when you're looking at a player and you're lionizing or you're idolizing a player.
He's won so remember, championships are really fucking hard to win. And he's won one in each destination he's gone to. So I mean, don't get me wrong, LeBron's definitely a bitch. That whole temper tantrum he threw at the end of that Celtics game, like, literally encapsulates who LeBron is as a person. At least like last 5 to 10 years.
I would just like to say, like, honestly, that's really unfair. That call was really unfair. And like, if the person that was fouled was like still a top 5 player in the NBA, like they would have made that call. But unfortunately, when you drop off, you don't get those superstar calls anymore. You know, if somebody on Jason Tatum's level was getting fouls, if that person existed, then, you know, maybe he would have gotten the call. But like, I'm so sorry, when you're just a regular guy playing on the second worst team in the West, you're not going to get the call. I mean, it's the way. I know it's not fair, but it's the game we love.
It was definitely a foul. I mean, there's
a foul.
Yeah, it was
it was the most obvious foul.
It was the definition of a foul. You know what I mean? Like, when you look up a foul on a layup,
in refereeing schools, like, this is what a shooting foul is.
but like, when I say that encapsulates LeBron, I really mean that, because like, the temper tantrum, yes, on one spectrum, but on the other spectrum I was 100% sure he was getting a clean drive to the layup on that last play. You saw it when he was at the top of the 3-point line. You know what I mean? He had that LeBron, I'm fucking taking it to the rim, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it mentality. He doesn't have that as much anymore because he's older. So I get the recency bias, but you got to remember, like, this is a different LeBron than what LeBron was at his peak. And it's so long ago now that I feel like people kind of forget. Like that Miami series against the Celtics, I can't even imagine a more dominant basketball player than what LeBron was in Game 6. It was unbelievable. Like I wasn't alive for the MJ, you know, the prime of that MJ. Right. That was 63. Is that what it was? Yeah. Bro, that
79 in Game 2.
that three, that dagger 3 in the fourth quarter where he just came up and stepped back 42-footer, no fucking doubt, and he just walked down like, yep, this is my fucking championship. You guys can go fuck yourselves.
Oh, I thought that was the year before.
Rapid expansion?
We're ready.
Economic crisis?
We're good.
Worker shortage?
Good.
AI?
Got it.
What if a celebrity buys the company?
Depends on who it is, but we're good.
What if a global internet outage sends us back to the Stone Age?
We're good.
Anything can change the world of work.
Say the world turns into one of those zombie shows.
Which one?
Any of them.
Relax, we've got ADP.
From HR to payroll, ADP designs forward-thinking solutions to take on the next anything. ADP, always designing for people.
Oh, you're right. They did lose that year. They ended up losing.
No, I mean, Miami beat them back-to-back years, but I'm saying, like, that play you're talking about, I mean, the 45, 15, and 5 was 2012 in Game 6, but that 3, I thought was the year before because they hit it, and they you would have thought they won the championship.
It all just merges.
Crazy. Yeah, it does merge. It hurts. Hurtful but accurate.
But I'm just saying it's.
But
you got to look at the whole. You got to look at the whole picture. When you look at the whole picture, I just find it hard to believe that he's not top 5 of all time. I really do.
I said I had him 5.
But like, all right,
That's
give me the 4.
5.
Give me the 4. Give me the 4. Give me the 4.
Number 1 is Michael Jordan.
Okay,
without a doubt.
Okay, and Kobe Bean. I get it.
I didn't say number 2 is Kobe. Number 1 is Michael Jordan. Number 2 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
Number 3 is Bill Russell. Number 4 is Kobe Bryant. Number 5 is LeBron James. That's my top 5.
I just think it's I'm sorry. I'll let you do it. But it's so hard because it's such different eras. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so you have to take each. You have to take each. Well, you have to take each of them in context.
Yeah,
you have to take each of their accomplishments and what they did, their skill sets, what they bring to the table, their championship pedigree. All these things I think have to factor in. I think it's why Bill gets weighted so heavily when you look at championship pedigree. Like, it's literally and figuratively unmatched. Yes, it's a different era, but it doesn't matter. You play what's in front of you contextually. He's part of the reason why we're here talking about the NBA, a big part of the reason. I could see an argument for switching out either my 4 or my 5 for Magic Johnson, to be 100% honest with you. If I'm trying my best to eliminate the idea of Larry Bird being our patron saint.
I thought you were going to say of Lakers. But.
No, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I think Larry Bird was a more talented basketball player than Magic Johnson. But if you look at what they accomplished from the last night of their college careers to the end of their NBA careers, it's difficult for me to argue that Magic doesn't have a greater list of accomplishments because he just does. He just has more. So I would have liked to see some different things happen in for instance, the 87 finals, like show up, whatever. But it is what it is. I think, yeah, there's a lot of Lakers on my list already, unfortunately. And it's tough for me to fucking keep cranking LeBron up the pole. And I think it's because of what you said. It's these individual accomplishments. To me, it's like, yeah, sure. But I also watched him like decide he was a GM a few times and like fuck up teams. I watched him take his talents to South Beach. I watched him fucking like, not to even begin to get into that. I watched him decide to go play for like a lot of different teams. I watched him leave his hometown team twice. I watched him bitch, moan, and complain throughout his entire career. It's impossible to argue with his individual stats, and it's impossible to argue with his talent, bottled talent, I think he fills up more of a bottle than any other player in the history of the game. And that includes Michael Jordan. I think on just what he was born with, his size, the fact that he was that fast for his size, the fact that, I mean, it's slept on a little bit, honestly, but the fact that he was probably one of the best passers of all time, to be honest with you, the fact that when he should have already done it, but when he learned a post game and came back after that Mavs series and won a championship in Miami, that was all very impressive. That was definitely him doing that too. That wasn't D-Wade or Bosh at that point. But I also watched like Dirk be like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like that to me, when you hear the legends of the greats, and maybe it's because we were alive during it, we watched it. When you hear the legends of the greats and you're watching like The Last Dance and like Michael Jordan is a meme about what it's like to not fuck around and win yourself championships. And LeBron James is Dirk Nowitzki being like, fuck this kid. And like, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, and Dirk just fucking dropping turnaround jumpers on him for as many times as he wanted. And Paul Pierce going toe to toe with him when motherfuckers go on whole ass tours talking about how Paul Pierce isn't as good as Paul Pierce thinks he is. And the whole, like, everyone clowning on him when it was him versus D-Wade, but Paul Pierce fucked him up one-on-one when he was younger. So, like, whatever. These aren't stories you hear about the all-time greats. So, yes, I agree with you individually. It's difficult. But to me, it's like how I'm conditioned to watch basketball, how I'm conditioned to idolize these greats and what it takes to be great, what we've been told over and over what it is to be great. It's LeBron. If LeBron James in 30 years is in the coolest basketball commercial on TV and he says something akin to, at the end of the day, this game is and always will be about buckets, that will never be as cool as when Bill Russell said it. Because when he says shit, you listen because he has that thing about him. You know, he did all this other shit outside of being an NBA player. Kareem, same deal. Michael Jordan, absolute assassin. Kobe Bryant, absolute fucking assassin. They have this other thing, this other badge that makes them elevate themselves over just raw talent. And I think LeBron's probably a really nice guy. He's probably a better hang than all these dudes. But if you got to ride into the valley, if you got to fucking face down the monster, he's not Aragorning you through a fucking situation. He's just not. So that's my issue, I think.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a different mindset when you've been the king your whole life versus, you know, Kobe being drafted 14th overall out of high school playing in France.
Maybe I'm too into the narrative. Maybe I'm too invested in the narrative.
I think it's more of just like it's been expected of LeBron to be this guy his whole career. So no one was ever like, what? Like, look at this guy. It was like, yeah, bro, that's LeBron.
Which I think is an argument in his defense. I don't even think that's fair. Like,
well, it's not. That's what I mean. It's the same. It's like there was those
Brady
years where he should have been
MVP,
you know?
every single year, but it got boring. Like that's a true thing that happened, right?
Yeah.
Like he should have been MVP every single year, but it got boring. Like I'm not arguing with how good he is. I'm really not. Ray, you look disappointed in me. You look disappointed in my basketball.
He brought an old Eric Snow. Was it Eric Snow and who was the other? Zildrunas, obviously. Who was the other big scorer they had?
They had Mike who was the point guard?
Who's the ugly dude? Danielle Marshall. Marshall.
No,
sorry, Danielle, you're not ugly. I'm sorry.
I know, right? No, that's funny. No, not disappointed.
That's fucked up.
But definitely not right.
He's
not disappointed in your basketball knowledge. Definitely not disappointed in that. I'm just disappointed that you even have to make that comparison, right? Because, like you said, he should have got MVP most years, but because they fit the narrative, and it's like, oh, you have to give it to somebody else, and it's like, no, it's the most valuable player. So
I mean, the last year Russ won, it should have still been LeBron at that point. You know, I'm in agreement with you on that.
Yeah. So it's just like, to me, well, I mean, when you win, when you average for the year, that's special. Like I get Russ. I get why Russ got it.
But you watched it happen though, right? You did watch the people be like, "Whoa, let him get the rebound! Whoa, let him get the rebound! Let him get that triple."
Yeah, no, I mean pretty much. But even like I said, as someone who lived in Miami when like I said, the few years he was out there, and I went to a playoff game, and I'm just like, I don't know if there's been for that 4 or 5 years he was there. Like I don't know if I've seen better basketball from like it was unreal.
Definitely.
The alley-oops. I remember the game in New Orleans. Like I think he had 42. Man, he had 6 threes in the first half. It was hitting from the parking lot. Like, and I was just like, what do you do because that was the final thing to unlock his game. He could do everything else, but I'm like, yo, he's hitting 40% from three in Miami. Like, what do you do? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Then I can go hoop. I can give it to Wade, or I give it to Bosh, or I give it to Shane Battier, or I give it to Ray Allen. Like it was too much. I wish he ended up staying there. I get why it had to fit his narrative to go back home and win with Kyrie. I get that. Could have, he had unfinished business, so to speak, in his mind. But I just wish he had stayed up with Miami because we probably saw more Wade. I mean, Bosh had to help things. It was different.
I think he would have had more good teams around him if he stayed.
For sure.
And because of the way that team is run, is better than any other team that he's ever been on. So,
I just think Tom Brady, and I always come back to this, kind of ruined. He ruined the idea of a championship player because, listen, 10 years ago, a guy that won championships in 3 separate places,
you're right,
championships is a winner. He's
almost
a guy
a victim.
That,
You're not wrong. Like he's almost a victim of like you don't have the ability to be mysterious anymore. In today's world, like everyone's online. Like you can go to any. Like everything you do is watched. You can be put in any context that anyone wants you to be put in. You don't just go out, play the game, and then you completely recede back into your life. I see your point. I genuinely do see your point. He is a little bit of a victim of the times. He's a little bit of a victim of his own success. He's a little bit of a victim of, you're right, like the greatness that was around him in like other sports. And I'll also say that comeback against the Warriors, which is probably the best team of the last 10 years, is that Golden State Warriors team. That wasn't just anybody that he made that comeback against. Yeah. And him topping it off, like as much as like Kyrie's shot is remembered, we're all pretty much in agreement that block is what that was the moment, right? So wherever it was like, oh, this is over. This is like
even before, like Kyrie obviously gets hurt in game 1. Obviously, Love got hurt in the series against us in the first round. Like that 2015 run that he had,
but equally,
it was unreal. And
but equally, he's on the team as the victim of like that Kevin Durant Warriors team, where he was made to look incredibly average in that finals. Like. That was the worst I've ever seen him play in the playoffs, and it wasn't his fault.
I think it's because he knew. I also think he knew how overrated.
Imagine that though. You're getting 40 a night, and they're like, "Yo."
Again, compared to his own standard, and a victim of his own success in that sense. Like that's like when you're. I watched Kevin Durant like break his fucking ankles in that series. You know what I mean? Like absolutely break his ankles on the perimeter.
That
and then.
On the left side was crazy.
First one, exactly the play I'm talking about. It was early in the series, and like KD just looked like in that moment to me. I'm watching that. I'm like, KD looks like the most unplayable player I've ever seen in my life. Like you're talking about, you've never seen better basketball from LeBron when you're in Miami. I get that, and I think there's an argument to be made in the context of our lifetimes. KD, when surrounded by all those guys and hitting those heights, I've never seen anything like that. I was like, there's no human you could go and get in their prime history to stop this,
Special.
And I think we're a little spoiled. I do. I think we're a little spoiled. We have all this we watched all these different great players. There's so many good players in the NBA since we were little munchkins that we're a little bit, you're right, we're a little bit fucking spoiled. It's easy for me to say because I didn't watch half the guys on my fucking list live, so I get it.
Well, and it's like when you think about, so like David Robinson, right? Considered like one of the best winners of all time, 2 championships. Kobe Bryant, considered one of the best winners of all time, 5. LeBron has 4. Larry Bird, one of the best winners of all time, 3. You know what I mean? It's just like you get on the list. It's such a different standard nowadays, man, where it's like, I don't know. It blows my mind.
He's also always put next to Jordan in conversation.
Yes.
He's always beaten.
That's why I know, but it's still, to me,
the 6 for 6
it all stems back. Yeah, I guess.
No, don't 6 for 6.
No, I'm not. Yes.
Well, because
it's just I feel like I really do feel like Brady ruined it because it's like now, bro. It's
Tom Brady ruined sports.
He ruined people's mindsets because Jordan was a different level. Jordan was the best basketball player anyone had ever seen. But Tom Brady just came in out of nowhere and dominated the sport for 20 years. So that's what people see the expectation as the GOAT, as the greatest, as the best ever. Like, you have to do that. And just because LeBron, you know, like I said, winning an NBA championship is so fucking hard. Yeah. And it's like, to get to 7, to win 4, right? 4, because you won 2 in Miami.
His career, he's been in the finals.
It's
like half of his career, the man's been in the finals.
It's just when 20 years from now, when we look back at all this,
like,
right?
That matters.
We're gonna be like, what the hell were we fucking talking about, man? Because like I'm telling you, man. Because like when you look back at these guys,
yeah, no, you're not
like
wrong.
David
You're
Robinson
not wrong.
has
They all
2.
Everybody gets like definitely cast and lionized a little bit more. And I think what I'm trying to do is really just hold on to the fact that in 2008, every single person in Boston was calling him a fucking bitch.
He still is a bitch.
And I'm not letting,
I'm
not letting people scrub that shit out of history, okay? I've been hating him for a long time, and I'm not going to fucking stop now. All right.
So there you go. But I got one more name because now I am disappointed because Bobby brought up his teammate, but they didn't acknowledge this guy.
What?
You talk about David Robinson, I don't talk about the big fundamental.
Tim Duncan, I know.
Listen,
I actually have him pulled up here.
That guy, he beat a lot of your. He beat LeBron. He beat Kobe. He beat all your favorite players that we talk about.
Also, difficult thing for me to say out loud, but it is, and it's the hardest thing that I will say in the context of talking about basketball as a sport. But Tim Duncan was KG's father. He was his dad.
Yes,
and any single time that they ever played, like he.
That was at the 02 semis. The 02 semis, bro, was just he put him on his shoulders. It was like, can you see the parade? Okay,
styles make fights, and I think that he was just like the worst possible matchup for Kevin Garnett. And I think he got a little bit in Kevin Garnett's head because he was the opposite personality type. And I think he just
Tim Duncan's trash talk is about KG talks. He's like, got you on that one.
Got you almost.
KG was like, "What the fuck?" Happened? And like he'll kind of admit
that's worse. That's worse.
It's so much worse.
Yes, you're trying your hardest. Perhaps you on the bus saying, "Hey, nice try, young fella." What?
Yeah.
DeMarcus Cousins talked about it too. He was like, "Yo, like, I legit tried to bump him 5 times, and legit Tim Duncan did not move." And this is older Tim Duncan. This is not prime Tim Duncan.
Yeah, but that's like the old guy at the Y at that point, It's like he's
he was still giving he was still giving people problems But yeah, but to me, he's always one guy that, people say, oh, we'll just put him at 6 or 7 just because. I'm like, he's got 5. He's got almost 27,000 points in his
I didn't
career.
put him at 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah. Thousands of new arrivals just dropped at your Nordstrom Rack store, starting at only $30. Now you can save on what you really want. Hoka, Marc Jacobs, Vince, Eileen Fisher, and more. Great brands at great prices. Nordstrom Rack's got deals on denim, dresses, cute tops, sneakers, designer bags, plus updates for the family and home. But hurry, get first dibs on new arrivals from just $30 today at Nordstrom Rack. What will you find?
No. I'm saying most people act like he shouldn't be at that range. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Like,
I kind of feel like I feel like LeBron gets more shit than Duncan, man. I just feel like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that Tim Duncan's a victim.
That's the only reason why he didn't go 6-0. But I mean, let's you know what I'm saying?
But I think that Tim Duncan's more of a victim of the idea of the San Antonio Spurs and like what they were and how they were constituted was like, and this is why they won. It's like it was Pop and the system and the team, and it wasn't about any individual player. And I think that's why their individual accolades, like Robinson, like Tim Duncan. There's arguments to be made that Manu Ginobili and
Manu Parker,
and Tony Parker like maybe wouldn't have been as good anywhere else. Like people.
Or as Diallo.
I think that's a pretty legitimate take, to be honest with you. I think that Pop he played Moneyball a little bit in some of those positions, and I think that that's a little bit why Tim doesn't get the credit he deserves because he was an individualist. He was there to help the team, and I think he deserves credit for that. But when we're talking about basketball and individual accolades, I think that's what happens. Listen, I'm really happy about 2 things. I'm happy that because we're out of time, we didn't have to talk about Kyrie Irving going to the Mavs.
Oh,
so that's a huge.
I want to talk about us putting our balls on the Nets' faces.
All right, well, I'll give you guys a choice. We have two subjects that we didn't get to, and I don't really want to talk about either of them, but we can either talk about Kyrie Irving getting traded to the Mavs, or we could talk about the fucking KD rumors again. So which one do you guys want?
Kyrie Irving. Kyrie, I'm so sick of those KD. I'm so sick of those.
Thank you. Okay, love it. So the question I'll lead off with is, does it take 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months for Kyrie Irving to be the worst thing to happen to the Dallas Mavericks in the last 10 years?
I'll give him 3 months. I'll go less. 3 months. I think they have a couple good games. I think there's going to be a game where him and Luka both score 40 points, and it's awesome.
Okay, well, that's my next question. They both need the ball.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, when it comes down to nut crunch time in the playoffs, like, you can't alternate back and forth like that. We saw that with the fucking Celtics. We know the path that this drives down, man. And someone's going to get mad. Kyrie's going to have some bad games. I'm
kind of excited to watch a few Mavericks
I'm excited
games,
to see it. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to see it. Yeah. It's a fucking dumpster fire over there in Brooklyn.
Right. From a basketball standpoint, do you make that trade? I don't think the second best player on down in Dallas was as good as Kyrie Irving, like skill wise, but this is the conversation we always have about him. I think they improved their second best player on down, but I mean, from a basketball standpoint, like, how does this work?
I have a follow up for you too, Ray. Partner on that. Do you think Kyrie can still be the Kyrie he was with LeBron in Cleveland? That's what they want, right? That's what they want.
Well, this will be. He will look like Cleveland Kyrie because Luka's game is similar to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have moments when he hits the big shot for them because Luka would carry them for 3 quarters like Braun used to carry them, and then Kyrie would take over in the fourth. I think about that game in San Antonio when he had 57. I think about the 49 he had against us in Game 4 in 2017.
He couldn't fucking miss that night. He couldn't fucking miss.
Yeah, he's a human torch whenever he wants to be. And yes, we're not speaking about what he says and does off the court. On the court, when he's locked in, and he's been locked in when he's been on the court for the most part this year. When he's locked in, he's dangerous still. And you still make that trade. Boston should have made that trade years ago. Cleveland was right with drafting him number 1 years ago in 2011. But they wasn't going to do Derek Williams or Enes Kanter because those went right behind him. So let's be real. So yeah, they made the right decision, and I think that you're right, Dave. They're going to have moments when they score 40 plus, and you're like, whoa, this team can do something in the playoffs. The reason why I don't think it's going to be a 3-month thing. Well, the only way it could be 3 months is if he says, "I'm out of here, I'm going to go," which is within his right. However, because Dallas will now own his bird rights,
yeah, they can pay.
He can get them the most money. So I'm thinking, and Mark Cuban will pay. He paid Kristaps Porzingis. He's paid Luka. Like if he believes you're a star,
he paid Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, he paid Chandler. Sure did. So he's going to give money frivolously. Like that's just what he does. So I'm pretty sure I'll go with the 12 months to 18 months because it's gonna be like, okay. I signed on the dotted line. Regardless if you move me or not, they have to pay that contract. So yeah, I think that's what ends up happening. I think it'd be cool for him to learn from Jason Kidd as well, someone who was the best point guard in his day, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that is going to be exciting to watch.
What's his day though? Because I'm taking AI over Jason Kidd personally. Like, what's his day? I'm taking Allen Iverson over Jason Kidd. So, but I don't know if you're like.
I mean, sure, Allen Iverson was all of our field, I get that. But I mean, as a pure point guard, like it's not close. Jason
But
Kidd,
is he learning from Jason Kidd at this point in his career? Is he going like, let me take that on
board? He's not learning shit from anyone, bro. You know
he can. I know he can. I just think his personality sucks. So I don't know if he's doing that.
Jason Kidd is this is not, and once again, he's been to Steve Nash. You know what I'm saying? I know that Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs and had all of his career. I get that. I think Jason Kidd's temperament is different than Steve Nash, obviously. I think that he won't have an issue getting in Kyrie's face if he needs to be. I know that we see him as this, like, meaning Kyrie, we see him as the guy that can't be approached. But like I told you off the air, like I just met him a few weeks ago for the game when Brooklyn came here. That's just a facade on TV. He's really laid back. He really is. He's laid back. He's chill. Like, I don't know. Maybe he was a conspiracy today. I don't know. But
he literally has fucked up teams though.
But he's super chill until you're like, Kyrie, I know you're really chill. How about, this contract extension? And we just say, you got to win a championship to get the max. And
no facts, but he still wants the benefit of, he can say all he wants about the NBA, what they haven't done it, but they will do. At the end of the day, him and many other players are like this in the league. They still want to benefit financially from the league. So he's going to fall the line by his standards to get that max deal from Mark Cuban. You can rest assured, if they get back to the conference finals, which is very likely, I think they need to go get Siakam from Toronto. That would be a phenomenal deal for them. Not only does he defend, he's another playmaker for them. So
he'd be good on any team. I mean,
listen.
Sure, but I mean, just for that, but how they want to move the ball, he's not someone that needs the ball to be effective. So I think that would be phenomenal for them. So I just think that's the case. So, and they're also shopping Christian Wood. So, Mr. Brad Stevens, get on the phone, because Christian Wood is exactly what Dave has been looking for, what I've been looking for.
I would take him in 1 second.
Christian Wood's amazing, yeah.
Christian Wood is really good. So
I'd rather Siakam, actually, if we're talking about somebody getting Siakam.
Yeah, if we get Pascal. Wait, so I just want to bring up a couple of things about Kyrie first, and the Nets, but more Kyrie. I sent some articles earlier where it's like, listen, there's gonna be points where we're gonna see articles, and it's gonna be this Mavs team is the next best thing. Listen, we've all been through this with Kyrie before. This is like that dude who keeps robbing your friends, but you keep bringing him to the parties. You're like, nah, bro, he's okay now. He's okay. But then all of a sudden shit goes missing again. You're like, God fucking damn it, dude. Like, this is, he'll never change. He will never change. Kyrie is Kyrie.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. And I do feel like I'm stepping on a rake here, but like after listening to Ray, like I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And like after listening to Ray, like I'm ready to be heard again. I feel like I all of a sudden they have like the best, but like he's not wrong. Like I know I always do this. Listen, I know I always do this. We had a podcast.
Inevitable. It is inevitable.
I know. But hear me out.
What's going to end up happening?
I understand that we had a podcast when he went to Brooklyn, right? Like I get that. And I understand that I was very vocal about the idea that him and Kevin Durant, and I think
I was on your side, man.
You guys are on my side about that. Yeah. And I think, Ray had a lot of good points about how they all just have a sick amount of good players in Brooklyn now, and it's obviously going to work. And it was a failure. I understand. I was wrong about that.
Right.
I was wrong. But I think that they might have the best backcourt in the NBA in Dallas right now. I think, like, on talent.
They do.
I think they do. And, like, Luka, how can I bitch and moan all year about how it's crazy that Luka doesn't have anybody with him that's any fucking good, because he's probably the MVP.
So I just go through who Kyrie has actually played with, though. In his trail of unhappiness, right? So he started with LeBron, not happy. I don't want to be the partner anymore. I want to go to Boston. Oh, look, we got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are up and coming and now top 5 players in the NBA. Wasn't happy there. Bounced, left, went to Brooklyn, played with Kevin Durant and James Harden, and the historic big three, the best team we've ever seen play basketball when they're healthy. It was unbelievable to watch. Still couldn't succeed. And now you're gonna tell me Luka's gonna be different?
Yeah, no, I know. It's probably gonna be. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Like I honestly just think that stylistically, he hasn't played with a guy since LeBron that all of Ray's points, I think, are true. Like, I think if just this once he could not be a cunt, he really could have success in Dallas. And it's kind of a no-lose bet, because, like, if Dallas fails, I mean, I'll be a little bit bummed for Luka because I like him a lot as a player. And I want him to be successful. I like the Mavericks as an organization, too. I mean, I don't have anything against them. But it would be so sick if they were sick, right?
on the flip side, the Brooklyn Nets may be the worst run organization in the last 10 years in the NBA. I know they've made it to the playoffs, they've done this, they've done that. Bro, when you think about the timeline of events between the Celtics and fucking Nets.
From a basketball standpoint, I would imagine like Orlando fans are not like super happy right now.
But also the promise hasn't always been there with Orlando. All right. Brooklyn Brooklyn has gone all in and been the championship team like 4 times in the last decade, and it has cratered every fucking time.
What about trusting the process, though? Like, if we're talking about high
but that's
profile failures in big markets.
But they see, the funny thing is about all this with the Nets is they were trusting the process, and they were on the way to being.
I'm talking about the Sixers
squad.
specifically.
I know you are. I know, but I'm just saying the Nets were moving in the right direction before they did this KD, Kyrie, and Harden thing. They had Russell
getting
Lopez.
rid of that core was crazy. That core before they arrived, like Jared Allen. Like, why do you get rid of him?
Right,
like
Jared Allen.
Harden, that's crazy.
Who else was it? It was Jared Allen and who else did they traded that dude?
I know. I got you. So it was LeVert. So Karis LeVert,
which is wild. Which is wild.
Right, the guy that just got back in the deal payment, Spencer Dinwiddie, who was the best backup guard behind Kyrie. They had it
unbelievable.
It's unreal. So you bring back Dinwiddie.
If it was just KD and those guys right now, they would be like. They would be top 3 in the NBA team.
Without a doubt.
Well, Dorian Finney-Smith to me is an interesting piece, right? I think
I like Finney. Yeah.
Him and Royce O'Neal will be able to guard most wings on every night, except the 2 guys in Boston. But they're able to guard most guys.
Not most wings.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just being honest. Yeah, just being honest. So that's a really good tandem in my opinion. But on paper right now, once again, if KD says, I'll finish out the year, if it's Durant, Royce, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then Nick Claxton, that's your 5. And then you still got Patty Mills. You still got they actually still have a team that should still be top 5 in the East. Still. Wait, once again, if Simmons is supposed to be what everyone's saying he's supposed to be, and I'm being funny when I say it because he clearly hasn't been, but if you have those guys there, you should still be a top 5 because you still have 2 All-Stars on your team. And once again, that's not an opinion, that's a fact. So if that's the case, you should still be able to get the job done, at least to get to the first, maybe even second round, and then you handle what you need to handle from there, in my opinion.
What else is also a fact is that we're the Nets fucking daddies. So it doesn't matter what they do. They can be top 5. They can be whatever. For the last 10 years, we've literally owned, and they've envied us, and they wish they were us. This isn't a rivalry, guys. We have traded with them and dominated the trades. We have literally built our championship core. Our best duo ever came from the Nets, and then we gave you our Kyrie curse and put it onto the Nets, and you guys thought you were going to win a championship. We told you guys. We told you. And here we are.
It's not really an argument that needs to be made. I mean, at the end of the day, I know I'm going to sound like a smoke fuck, but the Celtics rivals the Lakers. It is always the Lakers. It's always going to be the Lakers. We don't have rivals other than them. If you're Brooklyn, you want the Celtics to be your rivals because that raises your credibility, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, they're fighting in their own city, man. I don't know what Mikhail Prokhorov, I'm saying his name wrong, but whatever. He's not there anymore, but I don't know what their idea was. Like, I get it. They brought Deron Williams over there.
It didn't make any sense though, because it was like, okay, I don't care.
Was
we'll pay
part
anything.
owner.
We'll pay anything. We'll make this good. We'll pay anything. And then it was like, I don't want to pay the luxury tax. And then it's like, well, what are you doing?
But to fit them in Atlantic Avenue, which is already busy as is, beautiful arena, whatever. Because my mom was a fan. She's like, I went to go see Mary J. Blige at the Barclays. That was great. Like, yeah, great mom. But it's just like they have a nice arena, but it's like other than that, it's just like, okay, they don't even have a good brunch spot over there. My favorite brunch spot called Woodlawn. They took that away after the pandemic. So I was already mad about that.
Dropping brunch spots on us, bro. You dropping brunch spots on us right now?
Right, don't knock brunch.
I'm not brunch. I'm not. I'm with it, man.
No,
but
it's
a different level of this podcast. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you never know what you'll hear, baby. But no, this is the thing. They should have just stayed in Newark at the Prudential Center, playing over there. And I get from a marketing standpoint that it have been better. But listen, as bad, whether they're good, bad, or anything in between, the Knicks will always run New York. Always. So, I mean, they haven't won in 50 years either. So
dude, I was just going to say the Knicks from New York, the Knicks from New York so hard that, like, they don't have to be good ever. They don't have to be good. and people still love them.
No, I want to remind those Knicks fans that talking about, well, y'all celebrate something y'all won 15 years ago. Well, y'all did a whole documentary of when the Garden was eaten, and y'all talked about 1970 and in 1973. Dave DeBusschere, Jerry Lucas, Willis Reed, Clyde Frazier, Earl the Pearl, they're not coming through your fucking door either. So I just had to say that for the Knicks fans that have been.
But they're not on our level either. Like, you know what I mean?
They're not. I just had to be petty. I had to be petty to make that known because some of them be on some shit with me. So I had to make sure that I put that out there on here.
To be honest, if there's any team in the East that the Celtics are historic rivals with on any level, it's the Sixers and
the Heat.
No, they're not on our level.
Sure. I mean, from 2010 on, sure.
But I'm just talking about like franchise to franchise. Like they don't come near us. Like maybe Philly does, maybe. But there's nobody in the East that like can touch us, and especially not the fucking Brooklyn Nets. Of course,
remember Boston's in trouble. Patty Mills, Boston's in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, all right, settle down. It's just it's
actually really good here, actually, but it's okay.
Yeah, no, I really like Patty Mills. That was
but fuck him. All right, on that note, that was a good show. I really enjoyed talking basketball with you guys again. Obviously, we're going to be heating up. Coming down the stretch, All-Star break. We're definitely going to talk about that. Can't wait for the All-Star break. I'm really excited for the All-Star weekend this season. I'm interested.
Going to do the skills again, you think? I hope Tatum does.
I hope he does something. I would love to see Jaylen Brown maybe try out something cool. Could Jaylen Brown be good in the dunk competition? I don't know. That'd be sick because like he's athletic as fuck. That'd be sweet.
Remember when Tatum won the skills competition on a half-court shot? That was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was sick. I mean, still think my all-time favorite moment of the All-Star game is Paul Pierce being like, I'm winning the three-point competition, and everyone being like, yeah, whatever, Paul, and him being like, no, I'm doing it, and then he goes out and does it, and it was fucking awesome. So all that, or was that the same year Rondo was like did that epic game of horse?
Yeah, that was like so.
Pierce from the rafters and shit.
Pierce won in 2010, and then. That horse thing was the next year with Kevin Durant. That was pretty dope.
Right. That was sick.
I don't know why they went away with that, though. That was pretty dope. I was like, oh, Rondo, you can make shots outside of the fucking
He's
paint.
on TV. Anyway, on that note, I know everyone's excited. We haven't talked basketball in a while, but we will do it again soon because tomorrow here on Missing the Point, we're recording our Super Bowl preview show because it is the juice of football season. So please do, if you're done listening to this and you haven't listened to that yet, please do listen to that. So for all my friends here Missing the Point, the real BK, Bob Kelly, Hollywood, Rayshawn Buchanan, and LeBron James, I'm really sorry about everything I said. I was just playing. Have a good night, everybody.
Welcome, explorers of the human experience. This is Let's Talk Soul, and I'm your host, Claudia Monticelli. We're not afraid of the great mysteries of existence here. Soul versus consciousness, we're on it. Spirituality versus science, we've got that covered too. Join us in navigating these profound topics with wisdom, curiosity, and a dash of audacity. Whether you're a spiritual veteran or just starting your journey, Let's Talk Soul is your passport to the unknown. Let's Talk Soul, diving into the depths of the human spirit. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you a fan of classic cinema or a young person who wants to discover the best films of all time? Do these legendary movies still hold up?
On the Generation Film podcast, two guys who grew up when movies dominated the culture share a great film with a panel of young movie lovers and see how it plays for today's generation.
We discuss changes in storytelling styles, representation,
the making of each film, its initial reception, and how its meaning has changed over the years.
Join us as we explore cinema classics across generations on Generation Film.
Electricast.